and Ibrahim just cleared, and I wanted to talk to him. You have just gone to
Okay.
the feeling when you clear the exam. So Ibrahim just cleared the exam. I just wanted to talk to him. He was very excited. So
Okay.
sorry for waiting. So
Yeah,
here
yeah, no
we
problem.
are with Mr. Santosh. Mr. Santosh cleared PMP exam with all above target. So first of all, congratulations, Santosh, for clearing PMP exam with all
Thank you very much.
above target. Whenever anyone clear PMP exam with all the above target, there is something that is a lesson for everyone. Hey, how he did. And the important lesson here is that if he can do, so can I. So that's one of the fundamental reason we are here to understand how Santosh did, how we can learn from it, and what are the things in his experience. Before moving to the journey and putting things in the context in detail, let me share few things. His journey was very difficult. I rarely say that, but from the bottom of my heart, I have to put that into context. Santosh journey was one of the full of challenges, full of experiments, and all those things. So let's hear from our champion why it was difficult, how he did it, and what we can learn and we can follow. So Santosh, please go ahead, share your journey.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. So, first of all, what I wanted to say always, I mean, since I've been preparing for exam, I was just preparing for this also, side by side. If at all I cross above targets, then what I actually want to say this. So, first, let me tell this. Sir, I will tell you for last 1.5 years, I'm trying desperate to clear the PMP. Okay. I went through some of the articles, etc. But the engines were just not starting. So finally, Ram talked about his success, and then it led me to you. And that time onwards, I think it was super. It was super journey. Uh, Entire PMP you covered in 6 days, and then from that the mocks and the way the mocks were built up, it is unbelievable. I mean, what looks like a mountain, you made a molehill out of it. I don't have words to express this. I mean, this is the best terminology I can use. The entire mountain looked a very small stone. It was superb. It was superb. So, Amir sir, thank you very much for this help. It was a biggest help. It was the biggest help I ever got.
So, Santosh, now you said a big a mountain. Like, let me put something in the context. Today, while I was going to the gym, I thought I should make a video, seven points to achieve anything in life, like we did PMP. This is the same concept what you did. Take out a mountain, take out a goal, divide it into so small part that it becomes very small and you can do it on daily basis.
Correct.
Like divide the product backlog into small user stories, and then you can do them daily base, add
Yes.
daily stand-ups into it, and you are done with it. So do
Yeah.
you actually put that again, rephrase, I should do that video also. So let's talk about those 6 days. I never compete or I never say about those 6 days. The real PMP actually starts after those 6 days. The real
Correct.
PMP for me, the real PMP within also now we also incorporate within those 6 days, and that is why the batch 11, batch 12. I'm also learning, also evolving my processes. Batch 11, batch 12 is clearing so soon that we have evolved our program. We did iterations,
Mhm.
we did retrospective, and after batch 11 now I am giving tasks in between, even pre-training, so that they are working in a better and a positive way. So Santosh, let's the mic belongs to you. Share your journey in any way you think it is better, please.
Yeah. So when I started my journey with USL, we had this initial 6 days of training. I think more like uh, those were more like initial preparations where you check all the things with you, everything is okay, pre-flight check, and then as you said, after those 6 days were over, finally we start working towards the PMP. We start going through different mocks, etc., and we start doing the retrospective about how, if we haven't got a good percentages, then how we can improve it. What are the things which we are lagging, and so on and so forth. So I think that was a very important lesson for me. Those were the very crucial days for me when I started doing the root cause analysis of what was that which was stopping me, and so on. So the analysis were more like when you are tired or when you are in hurry to complete the mocks, etc. That is the time when you do the major mistakes. The last sections were the ones which I have analyzed as the most treacherous for me, and that is where I started building up. I would say that the mocks which you gave from your side on the Udemy, those were one of the toughest ones, and actually those mocks helped me in bringing out. It was like a searchlight, in the dark. It was so powerful. It brought out everything which I thought I knew, but they pointed out saying that, oh, is it? Then why could not you answer this question? And then I had to go back to that section and again start reading it, and again start going through so many relevant things. More and more I went through, the more and more things started coming up, and it helped me a lot. I was able to build a very solid base on that, and then finally I approached the podcast, and I think yeah, that is it. I mean, I did not go through many things around, I think, 12
How many
15.
mocks? Like you are forgetting your journey, my friend. You are being so kind, like you are forgetting actually your journey. So, Santosh, the biggest thing, the biggest challenge you had in your journey, why don't you put that in the context? There is nothing to be ashamed of. Anyone can have
Yeah,
that. I had that. That's why I bought this chair. That's why I had that. I had that at my time because I spend normally, I said it several times, I work 16 hours a day. I sleep 8 hours, like 7 to 8 hours. I sleep and 16 hours. Even when I am, although it's not good thing, even when I am having lunch or dinner, I'm like having this. Like I have a mobile in my
yeah,
hand,
yeah.
I'm having food. Always working, working, working because I work like a media company. I put everything by myself. I have a team. I put everything by myself. So I started having pain in and those things. I don't want to talk about my journey, but why don't you put that in the context? That is
Okay, okay.
very important.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I started the PMP, and then I also had a lot of things running in the office. So it was almost back to back for me. And I was really stretching beyond my capacity. Actually, I do have a back problem, but it only got aggravated, and the entire August it went into a severe back issue, and I was almost like a bedridden person. I could not handle things, and after August also I was able to move around September, but it was very painful, and I could not sit any decent hours, or decent minutes, I would say. And I wanted to give exam in September, so it was getting very difficult. But on one side there was office, on another side I had a PMP, and I knew that in exam I have to do this. So I started taking lot of medications, and whatever it takes to sit for a longer hours, and I just wanted to go in the exam and do it as a normal person. And yeah, I mean, I had a tremendous challenge in overcoming this difficulty, and then finally I made it through. In the exam I went as a normal person, I attended as a normal, with no special facilities taken.
And that
And
is something, Santosh, that is something, like, again, he's a very humble guy. He's again becoming a very humble person. Let me put some more lights on the journey. Since I'm a communicator, it's my job to put more thing in the context apart from PMP and apart for something when I see myself as the image what I am. I'm a communicator. I like to share story. I'm a storyteller. So let me
yeah.
put this thing in the context for everyone. So Santosh had this issue. He told me he's unable to walk. Doctor advised him for 6 weeks. The first thing I said to him, there's an option in the PMP exam for special accommodation. He should opt for it. As he is saying, as a normal person, he refused what I said, and he said, "No, I'm gonna take it as a normal." He never said it to me out loud, but I know from his body language he's not gonna take it. Although I told him on several occasions he should do that, but he said, "Okay." He always said, like a good student, he never said no to me, but he never said yes to me for that thing. That was an interesting factor to understand. Then we started working on this thing. We started preparing for the exam. He asked for one thing just. He was coming in coaching call from bed. He said that now this is one of my thing. When you come to my sessions, it's a coaching call or it's a whatever the session is, I will ask you to turn the video on because I want to have that face to face connection. And this is one of the reason how I know I am impacting or not. I am reading, even I have 100 students in my class. I am seeing all the people and I am trying to interact. So he said, sir, I don't want to share this thing with anyone. So is it possible that I don't turn the video on? I said, okay. So from his bed, he's laying down. I know that he's solving question. He's solving question. Like I used to say in the coaching call, I don't give him the option to solve the question. But when I ask in the coaching call, is there anyone left who has not solved the question? He always says, I want to solve the question. I want to solve the question. And this guy kept on walking, kept on walking, kept on walking. And finally, with consistency, with persistence, he did that. Now that's a big problem that he had to solve. But another problem was waiting for him. The first time he booked the exam, what happened? Santosh,
Yeah, it was first time when I booked the exam. First of all, it was very. I was very desperate to clear the exam in a high grade. I used to constantly pester him, saying that, "Are you sure I will clear with all about targets?" And he used to say, "Just go ahead and do it first." So finally, I went for the exam. I was a bit nervous, and okay, the exam went. Exam had started. I have crossed two sections. Third section started. I crossed 126th question, and the net broke off. And I was doing it from the Pearson View Center, so the net was not coming up, and finally we had to abandon for the day. And it was a bit. It was a bit. Disheartening to see that, okay, now I have to start once again. I have to start once again now, right from the beginning. But then I took it in a positive way. Maybe God is planning something better for me, and He doesn't want me to go ahead. I took it that way, and I simply came back. I started again working on that. After 2 3 days, I started uh, working on the questions and all those things. Um, but okay, the second time, I when I tried to book, all the things were booked in October, and I could not take the slot. So finally, at the last moment, I got a slot in October itself, and I simply took the slot and I went ahead with the exam. And it was very nice, In fact, in the first one. In the first exam, I felt like I was doing very nice progress. I was from one question to another question, I was going pretty good. But believe me, guys, after some of the toughest mocks, when I faced that exam, second time, I was like a midnight express train. I was literally ripping through the questions and simply flying through the stations. That's it. No stopping anywhere. Amir sir gave me the last moment call saying, okay, this is how you should divide your time, etc. Like 80, 70, 80, 80, 70. And for first section, do it like this. Second section, do it like this. Third section, you should do like that. 10 minutes break, you should take. You should go through all those initial demonstration by the PMI, like how you are going to operate the software, etc. So I definitely followed this. Okay, accept the speed of the questions. I also marked myself that I will take first break. For the first section, I will take around 70 minutes and 70 and then 80 because I knew during all the exams, the last section, last 30 questions, I always do maximum number of mistakes. So I wanted to go slow on the last section for the last 30 questions. That was my root cause analysis. That was my analysis about myself. What are my pain points? And I exactly wanted to do that. So I have written how many minutes it would be looking. I would be looking at the screen when I should be breaking off from the session. But it exactly did not go that way. First 60 questions I crossed in 60 minutes, and so was the second batch also. I crossed in 60 minutes. There were 3 or 4 questions in each and every batch, which I have marked for review because I have decided that I would not stop at any question beyond certain minutes. If I had to read it second time, then I should be just marking and going ahead because it is not worth it to spend so much time behind 1 or 2 questions and then bring at least 5 or 10 questions into risk. So I was doing a rapid progress. Luckily, there were only 3 or 4 questions in each section. I had to mark for reviews. So after crossing 60 questions in 60 minutes, the last 10 minutes, I just went for a review. And that's it. I closed the uh, first section, then second section. For third section, I had around 90 minutes and 60 questions. And I was in very comfortable zone. Of course, the last 30 questions I went very slowly and very carefully, and I think that made the difference. But yes, like Amir sir said, in the third section, I definitely felt like I'm not going to make it through because after so many questions, you feel the pressure and you feel like, yes, this is it. I'm not going to make it through. But I also remembered what he said, no matter what happens, just keep going. And I kept going every question at a time, one question at a time. And that's it. The rest is history.
Rest is, I loved it. I loved the last line you said. Uh, rest is history. Yes, rest is truly history that you
Yeah,
created. Now, this is very important thing. Now, my key processes are keep on changing. I keep on putting more and more things. I keep on giving them more and more context. What I think as the best for each students. But again, each and every individual of you, you have to decide for yourself. So Santosh, just like I was told, Ibrahim Fiaz, our PMP number 208, just cleared exam. He's from Saudi. So he was telling me for last 20 question, he had 7 minutes. So he was reading the
oh,
last line option. So in
okay,
the first section he took 95 minutes. In the second section it took almost 85 minutes. In the last section he didn't have much time. But again, that thinking, no matter what, you have to complete the exam. This,
correct,
for everyone or 10 to 15 people who are watching this thing, this and the people who will watch later on, this should be your mantra in the exam. Exam has zero negative marking. Exam has zero negative marking. So you must complete the exam. And if you have prepared well, and if you are watching my videos, I am sure you have watched the journeys videos, coaching calls, even you are in the paid program or not, I'm sure you are prepared well. If you do 180 question, you will pass the exam. I have no doubt in that you will pass the exam. And that's what happened, Santosh. So, Santosh, let's talk about more of our exam. Which
Yeah.
area was more dominated?
Agile dominated a lot. It was actually, I felt like it was an exam for Agile itself. From first question till the last section, last question, there was no single point where I could not sense Agile being asked. There was Agile, and there was Agile. It was, I think, more than 60% there was Agile, followed by uh, hybrid to some extent, and the last one was predictive. But I could sense, in both the times, Agile was taking a big lead, and
Agile.
also
Okay. Apart from Agile,
uh, process related questions were a lot.
mhm.
Process group was a lot many questions came from process group, and I think it was a dominator in the entire exam.
Okay. What about people area?
People area, there were few questions. I would say around, I think I came around 15 to 20 questions, not more than that, I think. And
When I say
a
people
few,
area, I mean team. I am saying people area, team, stakeholder, and communication. You are saying there were few questions in that domain.
yeah. It was not as heavy as the process area, where you need to think about what kind of process you need to apply.
Ah,
Also, I realized one thing. I mean, in the when I sat for the first time in the exam, it was the questions were like more of a normal, like two line questions, or maybe 3.5 line questions. But this time when I sat for the exam, it was more like 4.5 lines questions with the options having 2 lines of every for every radio button. There were 2 lines which you need to read through, and I also felt like the questions were have increased in the size. There were few questions which were very less, and very less means at least 2.5 line questions. Definitely not a one-liner question, and definitely, yeah. If you talk about the formulas, etc., I don't think so. We had any serious formulas,
Santosh, you had
so
a
it
very
was more like you can.
I have to say you have a very interesting exam because 90% of the people are saying the exam was more dominant towards the people area. And in your exam, the process was dominated. And then in your exam, the two or three liner questions were more. So if you put all three PMP exam as a three exam, one, two, three, which area has more people related questions? Which area has more two liner questions?
You mean to say sections?
Yes, which section has more 2 to 3 line questions?
It was in the second section, I think. There were a less number of questions. First section was a very heavy section. I came across 4.5 lines of the questions being asked, and the second section was a bit better with 2.5 lines or 3 lines maybe. Third section was mixed, uh, but there were also two-liner questions, and that was the relief in the third section.
So your exam was, if I put it in the domain of the exam, your exam was a difficult exam. What would you say? Like your exam was not an easy exam, as many people are portraying it that since people or students are clearing, so some people are thinking that the exam has become easy. What you are sharing with me, I don't think so. Exam has become easy. Now exam is again changing its pattern, and it is moving towards more towards a difficult pattern. What do you say?
To be very honest, I did not feel it was very difficult. I just understood it as they are getting lengthier and lengthier, and yes, the questions when they become lengthier, the challenge is to keep every word in mind. That is a
Mhm.
major challenge. You can't afford to ignore a single word out of it. The moment you ignore, you will go in a wrong zone.
Okay,
So
so understanding the question, slowing down,
yes,
that is important. That is the key in the
yes,
exam, right?
yes, exactly, sir. Also, right from the day one, I have always established one standard of a speed while reading the question. So that helped me a lot. I never increase my speed just to cover fast or never decrease the speed to understand it better. I just manage one speed all the way.
All the way, and that speed really helped, because not
Yes.
only your exam was okay, Santosh, let's talk about this thing. Exam 1 and exam 2, you had the privilege to give two exam. The first, you
Yeah.
had 124 question. If you compare both of the exam, like they were separated almost a week. So
Yeah.
Santosh, which exam was difficult? The one you were doing, like, since you don't know the answers of those one, but still, if you have to put on the pedestal, so exam 1 was more when I say difficult, long questions, or exam 2?
Exam two was much lengthier and difficult, I feel.
Hmm.
In exam one, I had agile and hybrid. Agile was almost 40%, and hybrid was also around 34%. It's almost equivalent, but agile had a bigger lead, and the rest was more like a predictive. And
Okay.
also, the people and process were equally dominant in the first one, but process again was a bit more,
Hmm.
followed by people, and the last one was environment effect. But
Hmm.
in second one, I had process and I had agile to a lot of extent, and the question lengthiness also was a lot I had to
Hmm.
face.
So what about the, like, still no critical path question, no formula questions, right?
No critical path questions, nothing. No formula question. There were one or two, but for that you don't require a calculator. You could just read the question, do 1 minute math, and then give it. That's it. I mean, it would be that easy.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Drag and drop. There were two questions, and yeah,
And
that's it. And multiple choice questions. There were, I think, around 3 or 4 questions came for multiple, where you have to tick the check boxes.
okay. So drag and drops, I am more, I am good, because drag and drop are something different that you don't always see. Like, we have not solved a lot of drag and drop in different areas. So drag and drop were easy or they were difficult?
No, they were easy. It was not a challenge.
Drag and drop were not a challenge, as per,
No.
like, if you look at the other things, drag and drop were not as a challenge. Okay, Santosh, you have given us a lot of
Yeah.
information, and a good amount of audience is watching you. So what are your final advice for PMP preparation?
I would say, first of all, whatever is happening in those 6 days, please focus on those material. You don't have to approach any other material. I did not do it. I did not do anything. I just read some random materials on net, and then it was like for 1.5 years. Somewhere I find something, some motivation I used to find in between, and I used to read something, but it doesn't make much sense to refer to them. The real thing which I have referred is always Amir sir's material. One. Second, all the mocks, please take it very seriously. Believe me, the lengthier mocks you do, the more difficult mocks you do, the more lengthier questions you attend. Either you will be pleasantly surprised in the exam that yes, I have gone through this, so you are comfortable with it, or you would be, or it would be very easy exam for you if you have a shorter. So please take your mocks very seriously, and trust me, every associate is different, every person is different. So please make sure that you you analyze your own weaknesses. Your weakness may not be just the way your classmates' weakness is. So identify what is your own weakness and work out on that. And if you have any doubts, sir is always there. He was always reachable to me, and he always guided me. So if you find any weaknesses, please discuss with Amir sir. I'm definitely sure he will have answers to all of them. He has handled so many students. It is not going to be very difficult for him to guide you through. So trust in him, and that's it. I think the moment he says that you are ready for the exam, don't think so much. You are not going to get any mileage out of so much of reading. The moment he says ready for exam, just go ahead. That's it. But when you're doing the homework, please do it. Be very, very, very patient in approaches, and be very ruthless with yourself. Don't try to get any easy way out. Just make sure that you are following a right way. That's it.
Just following the right way. Thank you, Santosh. You have given us a good information. I really appreciate the way you said. And now, Santosh, a few things that I really need from you. As you know, my mantra: each one teach one. Still few
Yes.
students in your batch.
Yeah.
Still few students are left.
Yes.
So work on them, and make sure your batch clear, other people cleared, and keep sharing to the people like you who have been working for 1.5 year and unable to guide, just like Ram. Keep doing that thing what Ram did for you. And
Yeah.
so whenever anyone from Ram or anyone has referred, he cleared. For example, Vishnu cleared, I forwarded his report to Deepak that this is because of you. When you cleared, I forwarded your report to Ram that this is because of you. So each one teach one, each one teach one. Secondly, most important thing, you have given 2 time exam in a way. So I highly recommend you write down PMP questions, uh, not the real question, exam like question,
Yeah.
and I will provide you PDUs according to that. The questions you write, it will give you the PDUs according to that. That is important. So we can talk about that further on once you get relaxed. And the last thing, enjoy. You had a long journey. You had a long journey. You have family. There was COVID. There was a back problem. There was exam. Then there were again exam. So now is the time to relax, enjoy, sit back, maybe watch a sitcom, watch whatever you like. Enjoy, my brother. It has been a really long journey, and thank you very much for choosing us. Best of luck. Namaste.
Thank you very much.